Hi, in this video we'll be looking at the server-to-server sync feature provided in RapidFTR. So what this means is we've got two RapidFTR servers working independently of each other, so server A and server B, and then we can execute a sync function between these two servers, and therefore details from server A will be copied over to server B, and likewise from server B onto server A. So I want to talk about details or data. What exactly am I referring to? So the first bit is pretty much similar to this when the phone syncs with the server. So it's exactly the same thing, except we're now syncing two servers as opposed to a phone and a server. Just for the sake of more clarity, let's assume we have 10 new records on server A and maybe another 15 new records on server B. Once we execute a sync, we'll then end up with 25 records on server A and 25 records as well on server B. The same applies to edited records. So records edited on server B will be synced across to server A and vice versa. So that's the first bit, and that's pretty much similar again, like I said, to the phone sync. The most important bit is the syncing of user accounts and roles. So what this means is, let's assume I was a user on server A. Before the sync, I only had access to server A. Now once we execute a sync and my details are copied across, that means I now have access to server B as well. Now this applies to things like the user's account roles and their permissions. So whatever I had access to here, I'll also be granted access to on server B. Now if somebody on server B removes access to something I had on server B and then syncs, the same will be applied to server A. So this you have to take good note of when you're doing a server-to-server sync, because users will now be granted access to multiple servers. So now that we've looked at the basic functionality of server-to-server sync, so how can we exactly apply server-to-server sync in the day-to-day runnings of RapidFTR? So let's assume we have a war situation. We have refugees, and the refugees are going into two separate camps, far from each other, and they're both running RapidFTR servers. So we have a server in camp A and we have a server in camp B. Now, luckily, both those servers have access to the internet. However, they both do not have public IP addresses, so they can't exactly connect with each other and exchange data. So the solution around that will be, let's set up a server in the cloud, right? So once we have a server running in the cloud, running the same RapidFTR version as server A and server B, we can then sync server A with the cloud server. So what this means is now all information from server A is pretty much on the cloud server, and because the cloud server before had nothing will exactly be transferred into server A. So the data in server A is similar to data in the cloud server. So now the next bit would be server B syncing with the cloud server. What this now means is the cloud server will have data from server A and data from server B, and server B as well would have data from server A as well, because server A was the first to sync. So to complete the circle, server A would also have to sync again, so it gets the data from server B as well. So this is one of the many practical applications you can have for server-to-server sync. Another situation, you could be moving around with another little independent netbook server, sort of like what's with server A and server B, and then move to the various locations where you have RapidFTR and then sync across with those servers. So this pretty much concludes server-to-server sync. Thanks for watching.